I'm so glad that I get to talk to you again because I understand that this has become like a powerhouse in terms of implementation for inventory management, RFID, and it has your company Altavant has expanded to different areas that where you weren't before. You started here in the Middle East, and little by little you have been expanding to Europe and Southeast Asia, which is quite promising. And I wanted to understand a little bit more this trend of RFID. I understand that it has been continuously growing in terms of an industry and the use of RFID by many retailers, especially a growth of close to 11% every single year. People are saying close to 40 billions are going to be dependent on RFID. And people, I mean, many people ask me the question, is it true or is it a legend? Because there is a little bit of fear to start any of the good implementations. And the first question that I wanted to ask you, Bastien Renault, is about where are people investing? Are they really investing? What have you observed investing on RFID, and in what exactly are they investing?
They are starting now, actually. As you said, it was a legend, clearly. We heard a lot about RFID for years and years. It's not a recent technology. Nobody was implementing. I mean, it was really, really a niche product. Now, yes, it's starting to pick up, really, really to pick up and really quickly. So we see the difference now. So one of the reasons is it becomes affordable. That's one of them. It's also something that the technology mastered by a lot of people now. So you are able to implement a project way faster and so cheaper than before. So a lot of factors came into place. And another thing is that we were able to live without RFID for years. Now we cannot. Mainly for stock accuracy and customer experience perspective, but we cannot do without it. So why I'm seeing that it's increasing the rhythm of implementation, it's because a lot of people are starting, and as you know, the leaders are becoming the norm, more especially in the retail business. So if your neighbor and your competitor is implementing RFID, you have to. You cannot stay behind. So that's one of the reasons.
I hear you, because I can understand that if you hear that the big giants of retail are using RFID and using it and making it happen, because I'm pretty sure that also the reason why people were cautious is that there were a little bit of mistakes that were done at the early stages of RFID, but these mistakes are not happening anymore. And as you say, it becomes a little bit more affordable, and the fear of going to the unknown has been reduced. But in reality, what are the true advantages that people can expect when they implement an RFID project, and more specifically about a retailer or a big warehouse? What are the things that they can expect as return?
I would focus on two main aspects. You have the stock accuracy aspect, because this is something that you have to have today, the stock accuracy. You cannot afford anymore to have unfulfilled e-com orders because your ERP inventory levels are not accurate and reflecting the truth on the ground or in your warehouses. So that's one of the points. The second one is the customer experience enhancement. You are way faster with your operations in the shop to localize an item, to check if the size is there or not. So it's real time. These are two main aspects. Of course, you have a lot of other new fancy stuff like smart fitting rooms for the retail. In the warehouse, you can detect with precision the location of each and every pallet, carton, etc. way faster. So it's way more productive. And as you know, operations, if you're not productive, you're losing a lot of money. I mean, in terms of just HR cost, that's one of the main benefits. We save a lot because your operations are way faster. That's one of them.
Listen, you made me think about that conversation that we had a while ago, where you were like dreaming the future. So we can dream of a future where A retailer knows exactly what quantity they have of some products. They know also if they are overstock or understock of a product. They know exactly when things need to move with the e-commerce to deliver it to another outlet. So the exact position of things can be done, and the counting could be done in the like on the go, like at any time, every second you get to know your stuff. Is that the big dream?
Yeah, it's not a dream, that's a reality now when you have the technology implemented.
Okay, so if you get it done, it is a reality. Now, but still many retailers have this fear of going into an implementation because of the same thing that we were discussing, some legends that were told about hey, this is expensive or whatsoever. What do you see are certain of the challenges that people can expect when they go and implement RFID, even if these challenges could be minimized to zero?
What we discovered, and this is really something that are worrying a lot of retailers, it's the length of the project. For a normal implementation with Altavant, we take between 2 months to 6 months. For a huge project, 6 months. But we hear around us that you have a lot of retailers that are going through a period of 2 years, 3 years to implement RFID, which is a catastrophe. One of the main issues that we discovered by experience is that implementing an RFID project involves a lot of different departments, and that's the specificity of this technology. You have to talk with finance people, you have to talk with IT people, you have to talk with operation people. And the operations are changing a lot. So a huge part of the implementation resides inside the change management. That's one of the most complicated parts. So it takes time to educate the people, forget the previous way of thinking the business, and now you have to go the RFID way. So all these are complicating the stuff, and you really need, and that's one of the secrets. You need to have a key person who will handle all these departments and be inside within the retailer, the project manager, and being able to collect and gather all the data and bring all the people together to make sure that this project will work. If not, it will not be really, let's say, adopted on the ground. So the CFO will pay for a project, and at the end of the day, it will not be used.
What I like, in fact, generates another question. So Altavant is not just an IT company. You are talking about change management. So that means that your people are capable of helping others change, review the process, see opportunities in the during that journey of 6 months to implement an RFID project.
A lot of things are about SOPs, retail or warehouse SOPs. So if you're not from this business, you will fail 100%. It's not only an IT project, it's an IT and operation project. So you need to master both.
Now, this RFID technology, sorry that I don't know enough about the topic, but I mean, I can easily imagine that most of the retailer or warehousing aggregators have the different type of systems. So does it work together? Can it be adapted? Can it talk to the different systems? Because everybody has its SAP, Oracle, or maybe something that is a little bit more forward-looking. Is it possible to make these systems talk?
It's possible, and every time you have to plug any new module on top of an existing IT ecosystem, the secret always the same. You need an integrator, somebody who knows how different systems can communicate together. If the interface is done properly, which is done in a few weeks according to the size of the project, everything will be smooth. Now, if the information and the data doesn't flow properly between RFID and the core system, of course, it will be full of problems. So integrator is the main person at the beginning, for sure.
But how do you pick a good integrator? It's not like there is somebody who is called a good integrator. How would you, if it was retail business, and by the way, you have been in the retail for a long time, but if it was your retail business, how do you pick up the right person?
Yeah, clearly, when I was purchasing IT solutions from the retailer side, the main key was to talk to a specialist of the product itself, first of all, and a specialist of my core system. So today we are facing a lot of retailers with the general classic ERPs, SAP, Oracle, you name it. They all work more or less the same way. So as far as you talk to somebody who has experience in RFID implementations, who did this in the past and can prove it, then you know that the person already has the connectors and is mastering the flows of entry of data. I mean, all the inbound and outbound flows. So it's not rocket science as far as you practice this in the past.
And again, I have the impression that it's not just about having like a wizard of technology. No, this person needs to understand processes.
Yes,
exactly. In depth. Now, I want to go to the core of the problem, because many people that I have been talking to mentions that it's about the cost. It costs a bomb. Tell me, what really costs, and is it true or not that it costs a bomb?
It's a legend. It's a legend. It was in the past, it was costly. Now, even in the past, we should not say that something is expensive. It's an investment for sure. Now, what's important? It's just the ROI. Will an RFID implementation help me to, let's say, be more efficient and to save money? So you have two aspects. You have, let's say, the invisible part that, like the customer experience. This is something that you enhance with RFID, but a CFO will not be convinced with that because it's not written in yes.
There is no hard number.
Exactly. That's one part. But really, the ROI is easy to calculate. So we have a way to calculate that. We can help any retailer based on his volume, his operations, to calculate his expected ROI and in how many months he will reach a positive one. So I'll give you an example. Just with the HR cost savings, because a reception with a barcode technology will take 1 to 2 hours for normal retailers. With RFID, it takes 1 to 2 minutes. So can you imagine every day, according to your volumes, how much you're saving just in HR costs? I'm not even talking about stock accuracy and customer experience, just this part. So you have to put in the balance both aspects. On one hand, the additional cost of consumables, etc., and on the other hand, how much you're saving per day in HR costs. So that's one aspect. The second one is that before, yes, hardware were expensive. Now you can find the major classic ones. You have a lot of very good ones coming from China now. It was not the case years ago. Consumables like the tags, it was very expensive. Now we're talking about $2, $3, $4 cents per tag. So it changed a lot. So this plus this plus this. Now today, it's not anymore the case to say, okay, RFID is too expensive. Just calculate your ROI, then you will say if it's expensive or not.
No, sorry that I really need to know, to have a dimension. So if in average, for a medium-sized retailer, let's don't talk about the giants of the Middle East. What is the expectation that I will recover my money, my investment only with the HR cost, let's say, as a first assumption, will I recover it in 6 months, in 1 year? When do I recover?
It depends completely on the size of the company, number of hardwares they will have, and the volumes and the number of operations, daily operations of receiving and shipping. But an average, I would say 1 year and a half. Yes. So it's quite fast. I can tell you, it works. It works.
So, and the expectation, of course, is that that things will become even cheaper in a couple of years, because it has been, as mentioned at the beginning, it has a spectacular growth. So the tags will become even cheaper, and maybe all of the infrastructure and the hardware will become even cheaper. What people expect today is to have a smooth way of learning a new technology, because sometimes they get afraid about technologies. Not everybody wants to touch it, and nobody wants to talk with the IT manager. which is wrong.
We know what.
Tell me one thing. So what advice would you give to a company who is considering this implementing RFID, and in particular for inventory management? What would you say that they should be doing in order to take the right decisions, and to also to know enough information so that they don't go to expensive ways of implementing?
To make sure that they will be successful. The thing we realized analyzing the competition is that most of the time, it's not a generality, but a lot of products fail because the retailer went to see directly the hardware providers. So they went to see the guys providing the tools, saying, okay, this is the technology resides in the tool, RFID antennas, tags, and readers. So we'll see these guys and ask them, which is the wrong way. I mean, starting with the tool, it's like you want to build a house, and you go to the hardware shop and you say, I'm going to collect some hammers and drills. And by the way, I will ask these guys if they can help me with my project, architecture, and that's not their job. They are doing it now, but that's not their job. The main key factor is the software. The software. In terms of hardware, you can find everything on the planet, everywhere. So of course we are here to advise, don't go with these kind of targets, etc. But these are honestly, the details that comes at the end. First, you go to see a specialist who will orient you on what you need to do, not what you want, what you need to do. So in terms of integration, in terms of functionalities, go phase by phase. Don't go for the big bang and implement RFID from A to Z, from the factory up to the POS. You need to go by phases and have a period where you will be half with barcode and RFID technology and roll out slowly. So these are the main key factors. Go with the specialist of the software. Then he will accompany you.
So my understanding is that the key resources to take into consideration is forget about asking questions to the hardware specialist. He might not know. It is an exercise that can bring you optimization in terms of cost for the future. So you need somebody that is not just about the technology itself, who can advise you, yeah, you can shorten your lead time or reduce cost in that specific area. Is that how we hear about some retailers having implemented the RFID, some giant ones? So is that how they did it, like in phases and with the right allocation of resources?
Yeah. You cannot do a revolution in your company if you want everybody to follow you. It has to be an evolution towards technology, not a revolution. So again, as we said at the beginning, change management. So you have to convince every department, and then when you apply this on the ground, you have to explain. Now, something which is miraculous, when it's implemented, there is no way they will go back. No way. Because when you get used to do like a reception, waving a carton in 10 seconds, instead of opening it and scanning one by one the barcode, it's like going back to the prehistoric era. You don't want to do that anymore. So basically, it brings back the people to their real job. So the salespeople are doing sales. They're not spending 1 or 2 hours in the stock room to receive, with all the problems that comes with this, which is lack of accuracy, clearly. Wrong receptions, then lack of accuracy, then customers disappointed, then the real stock is not matching what's in the ERP. So problem with the e-com orders, shortages, replenishment tools that are not working properly because the quantity are not matching. And a lot of consequences. And today, again, as one of the invisible costs of not having the stock accuracy is that when a customer is disappointed, let's say with an e-com order, so you place an order as a customer, the product is not there. You thought it was, it's not there. So they will refund you, but what a disappointment. So according to the statistics, it's up to 84% of people will not renew the experience with the retailer because of the bad service. This is an invisible cost for a brand. And so can you afford that? Some people say, I cannot afford RFID. Can you afford to lose 84% of your disappointed customers? I don't think this is I mean, it's a no-brainer, right?
Mhm. And I also understand that, like, this story with RFID benefits, like, the sub parts of the food retail. So we are talking about the e-commerce can benefit heavily, because the identification of where your stuff is before you ship it is a must. So we are talking also about the mega warehouses. We are talking about retail that goes from luxury to the detail-oriented industries like pharmacies, auto parts. I think that you have mentioned once before. So these inconveniences of counting small little parts can be sorted out with the RFID. As well as, I guess that I have understood that your company, Altavant, is bringing together the fact that it is not about technology alone, is to have people who can accompany the change, the adoption of that technology with different departments, onboarding the people so that they start wanting that. And finally, with some operational gains, because you have people who are more into the advisory of how to improve certain processes. So technology is just the add-on.
Yes, it's the tool. So we realize something now that we open an office in Europe. Europe, in terms of inventory accuracy, is a major market versus the Middle East. So in Middle East, we are still trying to convince people that they need to have stock accuracy. In Europe, you don't need to. But most of the European company, at least the giant retailers, are using our outsourced service. So we come into the shop or warehouse, we count for them, we do the fiscal wall-to-wall once a year count. Best case scenario, twice a year count. But what we saw is that even if you do twice a year, you have a 99% stock accuracy the week after, and then after the degradation, week down. Then 6 months after, boom, you go up after a wall-to-wall physical inventory. This is, first of all, not accurate, for sure, and it's costly to take a third party like us on a regular basis, because if you really want stock accuracy, you will call us 4 times a year with our staff, and it's expensive. So when you have a technology like RFID, you invest at the beginning, but then after you master your own stock accuracy and your own stock taking processes, which means that you can implement your cycle counts and do them in the morning every day, 15 minutes, one category every day. So you have a all year long accuracy. This is something that RFID can give you, and that is not costly. So it's one of the main let's say benefit of this technology.
And when we think about the cost of labor in Europe, especially in your country, my
How
God.
do you know my country?
Bastien, it was really lovely to spend time with you and to discuss again about something that is people are quite passionate about it. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck for Altavant.
Thank you.